Hi, this is Shreyang Siddharth and welcome to the next topic of discussion, that is interoperability in case of Kotlin. Now this is going to be the most interesting part of this series of Kotlin programming. Now at the very beginning of this series I told you that Kotlin supports interoperability. Now what does this mean? This means that you can simply call any Java function from the Kotlin and vice versa, that is you can call the Kotlin functions from the Java file. This simply means that you can have both Java and Kotlin files present inside your same application. So how does this work actually? So for that you have to first understand this thing, how a Java code runs. Now, the whole process is actually divided into two parts. The first is the compile time and the second part is the runtime. Now during the compile time, the compiler simply converts your Java file that contains the Java code into the bytecode. Now this bytecode is actually stored inside the file which has the extension of .class. So here I have mydemo.java and here I have mydemo.class that simply contains the bytecode, which is the more refined form of the code which is actually understandable by the Java virtual machine. So the Java virtual machine, with the help of some other libraries, simply makes your code execute, and hence your program is now up and running. Now, what happens in case of Kotlin? Now, in case of Kotlin, the whole process is again divided into the compile time and the runtime. Now, in case of compile time, we have mydemo.kt. We have .kt extension file that simply contains the Kotlin code. Similar to what we have here is Java code. Now, the Kotlin compiler simply converts the kt file extension into mydemo.kt.class that simply contains the bytecode. Now here you can notice I have mydemo.kt. So the class file name is actually mydemo.kt.class. This is the standard naming convention in case of Kotlin when the compiler converts this file into the bytecode. Now, this file contains the bytecode, right? So here if you compare the both side, you will find here we have bytecode and again in case of Kotlin we have the bytecode. Now since we have bytecode in both the forms, now this bytecode in the runtime will be executed with the help of Java virtual machine and then your program will be now up and running. So this is how a typical Java code runs and the Kotlin code runs. So now if you notice in both the case we are having the bytecode, right? And now proceeding forward, let us now check out how does a typical Kotlin file or code looks like. So what we see inside the Kotlin file is this. Now suppose our Kotlin file has the name of myfirst.kt stored inside the source folder. And here is our code. Suppose I have a method of function add that takes a parameter of a integer and simply returns a boolean value, and this is the method body. Now at the high level we actually see this code, right? Now what happens after the compilation to the myfirst.kt file? Now soon after the compilation this file is actually converted into myfirstkt.class, right? And internally what the compiler do is that simply adds a wrapper of class on top of this function. So internally what happens is that this code is actually converted into this code, such as I have now class myfirstkt, right? Inside which I have public static boolean add int a. Now if you compare this method and this method, you will notice that this is the high level method in case of Kotlin, and now this is the typical method in case of Java. So we have public static. Now by default all the methods in case of Kotlin are actually public in nature. So we have public here. Now since this method is a high level method, so it has been converted to the static, right? And here we have a boolean return type. So again we have a boolean return type, and this is a method name with a integer a parameter. And now inside this we have a method body. So what we see internally does not appears to be same after the code is compiled, right? So now since we know the internal structure of the myfirstkt.class, so this code can be called from any of the Java file present inside your application. So how can we access the Kotlin file from a Java file? We will check out in the next video. So please make sure you watch my next video because it is a very important part of this course. So see you guys in the next video. Thank you.